Hi, my name is Peter Thomas, President of Resource Compliance. This short video will look at some of the requirements of IIAR Standard 9, Chapter 7. Before studying Chapter 7, let's consider the big picture. First of all, the title of Standard 9 is Standard for Minimum System Safety Requirements for Existing Closed-Circuit Ammonia Refrigeration Systems. Standard 9 contains 8 normative chapters and 6 appendices. In this video, we'll examine the normative content in Chapter 7 and explanatory material in Appendix A. Chapter 7 is by far the longest chapter in Standard 9 and contains the minimum system safety requirements that are applicable to all systems, regardless of when they were built. Chapter 7 has 4 sections which address the location of equipment, general system safety requirements, machinery room requirements, and general equipment safety requirements. In this video, we'll explore the requirements of Section 7.3. Relative to machinery room construction, Section 7.3.2.1 requires that the machinery rooms be separated from other portions of the building by tight-fitting construction. The unsealed hole in the wall in this picture is prohibited by IIAR Standard 9. Pipe and equipment supports must be adequate and designed to carry the weight of the equipment, ammonia inside the equipment, and insulation. Standard 9 indicates that where necessary, sway bracing and vibration control are required, but the document does not specify what circumstances would make bracing necessary. Section 7.3.3 requires that equipment installed in the machinery room be arranged to allow egress from any part of the room in an emergency, as depicted in this image. Manually operated valves that are inaccessible from the floor must be made operable from portable platforms, fixed platforms, or chain operated, as shown in these images. Valves referenced in emergency shutdown procedures, such as king valves, must be directly operable from the floor or chain operated from a permanent work surface. Section 7.3.3.4 requires that access to machinery rooms be restricted to authorized personnel only. Informative Appendix D includes an example of how to label a machinery room door. Storage of combustible materials inside a machinery room is prohibited, except when stored within a fire-rated cabinet. The images displayed are examples that do not comply with requirements of Standard 9. Standard 9 prohibits the installation of fuel-burning appliances and equipment with surface temperatures above 800 degrees Fahrenheit inside machinery rooms. Exceptions are made if the combustion air is ducted from outside the machinery room or if the equipment is interlocked with ammonia detection. Internal combustion engines powering ammonia refrigeration compressors are permitted to be used in a machinery room. Any pipes penetrating the machinery room envelope must be sealed. Use of netting or fences as displayed in this image is not allowed. All ammonia pipes must be labeled. The label must include the word ammonia, the physical state of the ammonia in the pipe, the relative pressure level in the pipe as being low or high, the pipe service, which is typically an abbreviation, and the direction of flow. Ammonia cylinders must not be connected to the refrigeration system unless in the process of being transferred from a cylinder into the system. Standard 9 matches the requirements in Standard 2 for eyewash and safety showers. Each machinery room must have access to a minimum of 2 eyewash and safety showers, one inside the room and one outside the room. Additional units are required to ensure the path of travel in the machinery room to an eyewash and safety shower is no more than 55 feet. Eyewash and safety showers installation must adhere to ANSI ISEA Z358.1. Standard 9 prescribes that floor drains or other means be provided to dispose of liquids. The term other means is not defined, leaving quite a bit of flexibility to achieve compliance. Section 7.3.9 requires that machinery rooms exceeding 1,000 feet squared have at least 2 exit doors. Appendix A provides explanation that where installing a second door is impractical, the owner or operator should provide an alternative escape method, such as the use of escape equipment. Machinery room doors must be self-closing, tight-fitting, equipped with panic hardware, and swing in the direction of egress. Section 7.3.10 requires that machinery rooms be equipped with light fixtures which can deliver a minimum of 30-foot candles at 36 inches above a floor or platform. There are numerous smartphone apps that can be used to measure the light intensity inside a machinery room. Existing facilities must have an emergency stop switch and ventilation switch located outside the principal machinery room door. The e-stop must provide off-only control of compressors, ammonia pumps, and normally closed automatic valves located inside the machinery room. The ventilation switch must provide on-auto override capability for emergency ventilation. An emergency ventilation switch is not required if the ventilation system runs continuously at the emergency ventilation rate. Both switches must be protected by a tamper-resistant cover and clearly marked by signage near the controls. IIAR 9 requires that existing machinery rooms be provided with ammonia detection and alarms. At least one detector must be installed. The alarms must report to a monitored location if the concentration reaches 50 parts per million so that corrective actions can be taken. If the concentration reaches 1,000 parts per million, emergency ventilation must be activated. The refrigeration machinery room equipment must be de-energized if the concentration reaches 40,000 parts per million. Standard 9 specifies that audible and visual alarms are required both inside and outside the machinery room. There is no requirement in Standard 9 to provide detection outside the machinery room, although Appendix A warns that ammonia detection may be required in areas other than machinery rooms by the building code, fire code, or mechanical code in effect at the time of installation. Section 7.3 concludes by addressing machinery room ventilation. At minimum, existing machinery rooms must be provided with occupancy ventilation and emergency ventilation. IIAR 9 does not specify the required ventilation airflow rates, but rather requires compliance with the codes and standards in effect at the time of construction or modification to the machinery room. Other ventilation system requirements include the system must be automatically activated if the ammonia concentration reaches 1,000 parts per million, fan blades must be non-sparking, fan motors in the airstream must be totally enclosed, a monitored location must be notified if the ventilation system fails, makeup air must prevent short-circuiting, be uncontaminated, and serve only the machinery room, and where utilized, motorized louvers must fail open. I trust you found this training on Section 7.3 of IIAR Standard 9 helpful. I welcome any questions or comments that you might have. Feel free to reach out to me using the contact information on the screen. Thank you.